Hello, every binary, and welcome to Monsterhearts 2, Ebon Carnival. This is a skeleton setting that is made for the Gauntlet. I am going to be running two iterations of it this month, and this is the first month. It was written for myself and one of the players here today, Peter Mazzeo, and it is basically a take on Monster Hearts as seen through the last Unicorn Carnival with Mommy Fortuna and all those wonderful monsters that have been kidnapped and put on display. I'm going to allow I Am Ferret, also Sawyer. I have written Skin Deep for Monster Hearts 2. I have a new skin coming out in Codex Hunger, and hopefully a new project coming out in April or May. I'm going to now allow my players to introduce themselves and their characters, and we will, if you'll follow us through session 0.5, we hope it'll be entertaining. So, in order of character keeper, Peter, would you introduce yourself, your pronouns, and your character?
Sure thing. Hey everyone, I'm Peter. I use he, him pronouns, and today and for this month, I'll be playing Rodney Johnson. He is the Minotaur skin, which look for that in the future because hopefully that'll be its own thing. His look is looming, his eyes are threatening, and his origin has to do with steroid abuse. He asks questions with his fists, thinks with his fists, and if he hugs you, be careful because he'll probably try and break your back. His moves are Bully, which is when you use physical threats or brute force to shut someone down, add 2 to your roll. Red Flag, which is instead of marking experience when you are successfully tempted, you choose from the following list. Take 1 ongoing towards doing what you were asked. Mark experience. Remove a condition. Gain the condition Enraged. And finally, Seeing Red. When you have the condition Enraged, you may gaze into the abyss with Volatile, which Volatile is my best stat and one I'll be using frequently, so watch it.
Thank you very much. Quite evocative. Donna, would you introduce yourself and your character?
Hi, my name is Donna, and my pronouns are he, him. And tonight and the rest of this month, I will be playing Cecilia, the harpy. She has haughty eyes, is formally popular, and dresses a little bit shabbily but chicly. And I guess the harpy's deal is that she stews in resentment and envy, and maybe a little bit of jealousy for good measure if we get that far. The moves I picked for her are lightning talons. I'm just going to follow Peter's lead and read it out so that everyone knows what it does. When you shut down someone in front of witnesses, add +1 to your roll. If you roll a 10 up, they lose 1 intangible possession, like a friendship, their sense of pride, or their reputation, until they successfully shut someone down or lash out physically against you or otherwise assert their dominance. And the other move I picked was Elegant Egotist. When you turn someone on who currently has a condition you placed on them, roll with cold instead of hot. On a 10 up, you can offer them experience to do something for you without spending a string. So I think that's going to get interesting.
With a Minotaur that has a move that plays off being tempted, no, it can't at all. And I mean, with that temptation, maybe giving him a condition, who knows? Leandra, would you introduce yourself and your character?
Hi, my name is Leandro. I use he, him pronouns. I don't have anything as cool as what Ferret has done, but I should have a Belonging Outside Belonging game beta out next week. I'm saying this on the record so that I actually do it. Check out next week's session to see if I've actually done it. But enough about that. My character, the character I'm playing for this series is Astoria Sunderland, who is the unicorn, which basically means that she is a kind and gentle cinnamon roll who's too good for the sinful earth. Well, okay, that's kind of the archetype of the unicorn: desperate, kind, helpful, and good. tries to be benevolent, supportive, but don't quite believe in themselves. Her look is trick of the light, which basically I'm interpreting as weird. She has solitary eyes, and her origin is that magic is dying, and that's kind of what drew her to this carnival, in the sense that magic, as we know it, is commodified, accessible for a price. It's not special anymore, and only in random pockets of the world like this, like this carnival, this exists, and that's kind of what drew her here. The moves I have is, well, unicorn always starts with people should never, which means that I hold myself to a high moral standard reflected in a separate staff member else called integrity. And I gain integrity when I follow through on something important or take the moral high ground on an issue that matters. And the issues that matter to me, okay, what people shouldn't do is misgender others, lie, or be selfish, which, so let's see how that works. The other moves I took are prophecies. So when I predict the outcome of someone's action well before they undertake it, I'll roll with integrity, and I erase one after a roll. On a 10 up, my prediction of success or fail will come true, though perhaps not exactly as I first saw. On a 7 to 9, if the action is attempted, your prophecy will come true, but an innocent will pay a terrible price. Although I don't know if I should be too worried about that. Sounds like there are no innocents in this carnival, except maybe the punters. Okay, there we go. I should be worried now. And the last move I took is just what you do, which is basically when you help someone you dislike, gain a string on them. So some incentive to interact with people I don't like, I guess.
Thank you very much. And Ryan, if you're there, would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
Hi. I'm Ryan. I use he, him pronouns. I'm going to be playing Lear Hagen. He is the sort of sideshow fire breather man of the carnival. He's a bit sort of dramatic. I think that's a lot having to do with the fact that he is the Fomorian skin, which sort of highlights a kind of like not belonging, in the sense of, from what I understand, it's a sense of sort of like, feeling outcast and different. And what I should just go down the line. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so
looks,
sort of like, sorry, what was that?
Yes, just like looks, moves, that kind of, yeah, sorry.
Gotcha. Okay, so his look is sort of like moth-eaten finery. He kind of dresses nice, but it's kind of cheap old hand-me-downs. He's got sort of bloodshot eyes just from all the smoke he's around. His origin is infected with greatness, which I've sort of taken to mean that he has a kind of purpose instilled in him that he does not necessarily want or care for, but it is with him nonetheless. His moves are Cinder Child, meaning he is immune to the sort of negative and harmful effects of smoke and fire. And then, as well as his other move is Dragons Don't Scare Me, which is when you get a 7 to 9 on a roll to keep my cool, I don't back down. Someone else in the scene gets the condition Terrified. So he's very good at standing his ground and making people afraid.
Thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to all of these people being thrown together. There is a fifth character in this setting, Sammy the Witch. Since we don't have a fifth player, they will be an NPC who is on Astoria's side. Sammy is a genderqueer Kabbalah witch who ran away with Astoria and used their magics to hide the trail of the unicorn, for lack of better terms. Okay, with that done, let's go back around and start handing out some strings. Rodney, let's read your backstory.
Yeah, sure.
And
Okay.
modify it when needed.
Yes. Yes, I see what you mean now. So, the first one. You are someone's go-to for muscle. Give them 3 strings on you. So, anyone want to take that? I'm kind of ruling out Astoria just because I don't think she'd be like, I'm going to use that. But I don't want to, guess.
I'm wondering if Cecilia is someone with a little bit of influence in the carnival.
Cecilia is the heir apparent of the carnival.
Yeah. I didn't want to say a lot of influence in the carnival. Do you think that fits?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, you would certainly come to me if you needed things dealt with in a very physical fashion. So I think that is perfectly suited. So go ahead and take 3 strings on me.
Is that like security muscle, or moving heavy objects, or a bit of both?
Oh, definitely a bit of both. I think.
Okay.
I think I do. I can move heavy objects, which is already a deterrent from people because I seem to move them with relative ease. But first, I'm also pretty useful for security purposes, and sometimes I. Who am I kidding when I say sometimes? I definitely do work outside of security in terms of like using my physicality. And then my other one is the way it's written is you beat someone in an after-school fight, which I'm guessing not after school. I don't even think I go to school, or I've gone to school really. So it's sort of I beat someone after
A
basically
show?
yeah
maybe?
after a show at the carnival. Take 1 string on them. So.
And with the Minotaur being a bully as well, like this does not have to be like a physical beatdown. It could have been a verbal beatdown.
Okay.
I could definitely see that happening with Lear. I think so.
Yeah.
He's the most easily. Yeah, I think he's definitely easy to put down sometimes.
Yeah, and it's definitely a verbal beatdown. I don't even think that Rodney would consider making an effort against Lear to like actually beat him up, because he'd be like, what purpose does that serve me? But he's still like, just go
I
ahead.
have this image in my head of like Rodney smoking a cigarette, Lear like asking to bum one, and Rodney's like, I don't give you food," and like just mocks him for his cigarette eating tricks.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah. Oh, wow. Perfect. And I also just like that because it's just like, what you said.
Okay, I believe that is all of your backstory. Cecilia, let's do your strings.
So, take 2 strings on your favorite victim. I don't know. It seems really obvious for the harpy to not like the unicorn. What do you think, Leandro?
Oh no, I'm down for that. Like never stray away from the obvious,
Yeah.
I'm kind of imagining, because it doesn't say what Astoria actually does in the carnival, but I'm imagining her as doing some sort of palmist soothsayer sort of gimmick, which would kind of put me in the circle of kind of having to work for Mother Tribute, and in your circle anyway, because you're technically in charge of like her lackeys, which would kind of include me now at this point. So
Yeah,
I'm down for being
my favorite victim. Yeah. That's. I guess we can find out exactly what that looks like in play. You publicly embarrassed a powerful enemy, and they're itching for revenge. Each of you take 1 string on the other. I guess I'm wondering if Lear fits that bill. I mean, what do you think, Ryan?
I could definitely see that. I mean, he just as much as he is the type to sort of outcast himself, he's also the type to kind of like not be one to forget.
Yeah.
Slight, as much as that might be a bad idea for him too.
Do you have any ideas on how Cecilia might have publicly embarrassed him, or?
That's a good question. I could see it as some sort of like either ruining his act, whether it's because he's like a sort of like fire breather and things like that. So sort of tricks that are kind of easy to maybe go awry, and either she sabotaged one of his acts or something, and he kind of like he knows and she knows, and they both kind of know.
Okay. I presume that's not something you would usually do in a carnival, because ruining an act is bad for business. But
Yeah, that's a good point. That's fair. Yeah.
no, but I'm happy to have it happen, But yeah, cool. So you take a string on Cecilia as well.
Excellent.
Okay, I believe that is all of yours as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Astoria, let's do yours. And the unicorns are so fun.
Me too, just getting right into it. Someone wants to take something from you. Ask them what, and we gain a string on each other. No, why would anyone want to take anything from me? I just try my best.
Does it have to be something physical?
No, I don't. Yeah.
No, it does not have to be something physical.
Okay. Because I kind of get the sense that for all of Rodney's bluffing and everything of just kind of being like, I'm, this powerful person, he doesn't have a lot of hope for the future. And I think Astoria is one of the few bright spots. So I think what Rodney wants is some of Astoria's hope.
Oh. So he wants her to convince him that it's all going to be fine.
I mean, more just that there's something more outside of this carnival that could actually need him. Because I think when it really comes down to it, Rodney sticks with the carnival because he's useful, but also because he doesn't see anything outside of that.
Interesting, because Sawyer is someone who ran for the carnival and probably doesn't have, not that she doesn't want much to do with the outside world, but like she's in this carnival for keeps, so to speak. But that's interesting. So we both take a string on each other.
Cool.
And the second one, someone's in love with you and has told you about their feelings. They gain 2 strings on them. Right.
And I'm fine with this one being modified to support your rise to fame in the carnival, like your bid for power.
Yeah, I'm down for that as well.
Ryan, if you're talking, you're muted.
Aha. I think based on his backstory that's presented, that might fit Lear pretty well, in the sense that like Astoria is a sort of newcomer, and he thinks that they might sort of Astoria might be somebody who kind of like really kind of rounds out this little family that the carnival is, and wants to see her succeed. I think that might work in a sort of like deeper emotional way.
Yeah, I think very much like Astoria is kind of grateful that someone in the carnival kind of like sees what she wants to do and is supportive of that, and probably thinks quite highly of Lear. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Excellent.
Oh, that's all my backstory stuff.
And they gain 2. Lear gains 2 strings on you, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And Lear, your backstory.
All right, let's check this out. Okay, so backstory questions are in here. Just a couple things down. All right. So a friend laughs with you, not at you. Gain 2 strings on them, and they gain 2 strings on you. So my immediate reaction would probably be, I mean, I guess the obvious one would be a story, but it seems like I don't have anything with Rodney. So I think it might actually be Rodney. And like, I think they have a complicated relationship, but more or less they both know they're kind of freaks.
I actually really like that because it kind
Yeah.
of puts it puts a weird spin on the whole I beat you verbally or whatever, but in this weird way, it's like I may one up you, but like we're both like, yeah, we're still both on this food chain that is very much we're lower.
Yeah, a kind of like, yeah, you were kind of a jerk, but like we're kind of, we're at the very bottom of the social order here, like as far as like, human beings go, so there's sort of some sort of camaraderie there.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Rodney is kind of like the strong man. It's like, like I am, but you, but for the grace of God. So
exactly. Yeah, I think
okay.
that's good. So we
I
each gain
love
2
it.
strings on each other.
Oh, cool.
I do want to correct from the previous, from my backstory, that I gain 2 strings on the deer.
Oh,
okay, gotcha.
Silly me. Okay, and then my other backstory question is: someone has criticized you. Give them 2 strings on you. And then I think I'll give that one to Cecilia. I think as the sort of heir to this carnival, and me as the sort of like sideshow head, the sort of like head of the sideshow act. I think we both have ideas about how to run the carnival, and I think that I don't know is there any sort of thing that you think Cecilia might either criticize about Lear and his methods or his presentations or something?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it's something to do with how, like the origin infected with greatness is really something I'd love to latch onto. Does he think, he has nothing to learn from people who've been doing this for forever? Which kind of plays um, against Cecilia a little bit in that she's trying to make him learn in order to make the carnival better. So maybe that's the criticism, right? Is that he's not the source of all wisdom with regard to his act. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think Lear definitely definitely thinks he knows thinks he knows best, and whether or not that's necessarily true, it might definitely be something Cecilia could poke at. So you would get 2 strings on me.
And the way I see it, sort of like in carnival hierarchy, like Cecilia's like a princess, while Lear would be like a duke's son, in a way. Like there is like this connection there, and like maybe it's just that she's willing to criticize him publicly, and like other people, like yeah, I'll take you behind here. It's like no, you like if you breathe fire that way, it may get on the audience.
Yeah,
do it this way.
yeah, yeah, maybe safety is a big issue with Lear.
I was like, well, I don't get burned.
Yeah, like I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about. But like, oh well, the tent isn't, so
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay. I like these characters a lot, how we've fleshed out this background. Next, let's do. I think we'll do some NPC creation questions, some prompts, and then after that, probably take a break and then get back and do a bit more fleshing out of the grounds and do like a 0.5 session. Sound good to everyone? Okay. These questions are not written in any order, But again, the small town we're at is Haven, Massachusetts. We'll be fleshing it out a bit this way. So these are for the Haven NPCs. Lear, which family in Haven has always been kind to the sideshow community?
Which family? And so they're not on our list, correct?
No, they're not on the list. This is like someone like just make up a family inside the actual town that just has never in the history of the carnival has never been mean to the sideshow community.
All right. I think there's a local family that sort of owns a kind of small business, whether it's like I think a diner. I think they own a diner in town. And that's maybe where we go after our shows. And I think they've always been very accommodating to us. Like when we show up, maybe other people kind of like clear out of the diner, but they never have kicked us out, or they've never, they've always like welcomed us into their establishment. A name, oh gosh, just random off the top of my head. The Rodriguezes, they own a lovely local diner, the Rodriguez family.
And is saying I spelled that wrong, which makes sense. And the other, the follow up to that is how do you and their eldest son get along?
Oh, interesting. Okay. I think their eldest son, he's probably a waiter at the diner, and I think so. When you say you, is it me specifically, or is it all of us?
Just you, Lear.
Me specifically. I think I probably, I think we get along quite well. I think we've either chatted after shows, and whether or not I've bummed a cigarette off him in the back of the place, like when he's on his smoke break or something like that. I kind of hang out with him when he's on his breaks or something like that. I think it's more of like a casual kind of friendship.
Yeah, and sort of like the friendship you've been denied a lot of your life, just like a dude who does not care, does not care in the right ways. And a name do you want me to come up with one, or do you want to for him?
Eddie's a good name, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Cecilia, someone in Haven finds your bitterness and verbal sparring invigorating. They let you rail at them and find it hilarious. Who are they, and how do you feel about them?
I think there is a local band, who play in a bar that sometimes we can get into depending on who's bouncing. And the lead singer of that band is a girl called Beatrice. And she finds this bitterness that Cecilia casts against everyone else in the world to be so hilarious, because it obviously doesn't achieve anything.
And Donna, did you freeze, or you? Oh.
No, sorry. Was there a follow-on part of that question?
Oh no,
sorry.
I was more she finds it because she finds it. Well, yeah. The follow up is, how do you feel about them?
Oh, sorry. I think that's infuriating, right? That this girl seems to get everything she wants without any effort or without caring. And obviously the fact that she finds Cecilia's bitterness funny is just galling.
Okay, I like it. Storia, you met someone at the bus stop of Haven your first night here. Who are they, and how did that meeting go?
Ooh, where's my list of names? I think there. I think there's someone who. I think there's someone who's kind of just a bit older, but like in that indefinable young adult, sort of just about to leave college. But this one isn't leaving town anytime soon because she has to like because she has problems. She has to look after her parents who are quite ill. I think her name is. Let's see on my list of names. Her name's Andy. Full name Andrea, but she doesn't like it because that's an old woman's name. Andy Hunter, and she's someone who like who's kind of like a story in the sense that she wants to get out, but she can't because she has to look after her parents, and they kind of commiserated over that. But the thing is, that means like Andy doesn't like Haven that much, and particularly isn't too keen in that whole carnival thing. I think Andy's old enough that she's a bit cynical about the whole thing. Astoria's like, what? Come on.
I like to imagine that you met her, like she just sits at the bus stop sometimes and fantasizes about leaving. And, like you got there kind of late. It's just like the bus is here. Aren't you going to get on? It's like, oh no. You want a coffee?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. And Rodney, last but not least, someone in Haven actually seems to enjoy your company. Sure, you have to buy them cigarettes sometimes, but it's cool. Who are they, and what do they do for you that makes you think they really care?
So I'm going to respond to your question with a question. Do we have someone at the carnival who takes people's tickets?
We do not have. I did not make an NPC that does that. No.
Cool. Then that is this NPC. I think her name is Imogen. I'll actually type out the name in the chat.
Imogen, right?
Yes. Yeah. Imogen Hughes. And I think out of the whole carnival, she is another local to Haven that joined up with the carnival, isn't totally on board with all the things that the carnival does, but sees it as, solid, honest work, which of course is totally wrong, but she can think whatever she likes. And she doesn't seem frightened by how I act around people or how I carry myself or how I just am. Like I am used to being around people where I can just tell when they're the one thing I can tell more than anything is when people are uncomfortable around me because I see it a lot and she isn't. Yeah, she does bum some cigarettes off of me, but it's different than the way other people do because other people start with that. And she starts with a conversation. Like, she actually tries to start a dialogue between me and her, and it's odd. It's usually the most words I say all day.
Is that how you know she really cares about you? That she always has the time to talk to you?
Yeah, and after the first couple of times, it's not an accident. It's almost routine.
Okay. And now we're going to make a few places. And again, these are in no order. Is how I thought of them. Astoria, you're new to Haven, but there's one place here you couldn't do without. Tell me what this place is and why it's a lifeline.
Ooh. Place I couldn't do without. It's probably someplace peaceful and someplace out of the way. I think this is definitely a town that has room for a small creek just in the outskirts. It's like and there's a just to bring a bit of the woodsy magic feel to it. There's a big ancient gnarled tree, kind of like crested on this creek, and it's a tree that like, well, she hasn't asked, but she feels like no one talks about this place. It's like some place people just forgot about, and but it's like, you know, just you can feel like a lot of power coming from the roots. The place around is kind of like, you know, bit wet and marshy thanks to the creek, whatnot. But it's like, you know, you know, the thing that story kind of needs is like sometimes she needs space. You know, she shares a trailer with someone presumably, and Haven's full of people. Sometimes, you know, you need to be alone, and there's this creek and this tree.
Okay. That'll also make me change to Celia's place question because that definitely fits what I was going to ask her, but I think I have a better one for her now anyway. But anyway, Rodney, what is the high school in Haven called? And what do you imagine it's like since you've never actually stepped foot inside it?
Oh man. Oh yeah, you know what? Let's call it Haven Academy.
Oh, that's so douchey.
I know, and that's exactly what I think it is. Like, I think I had a brief moment when we first came here of like feeling left out, of like I could be doing something else with my life. I could be learning, and then I heard the name Haven Academy and I went, or I could keep doing exactly what I'm doing right here and actually make something of myself, then change into something that I would look in the mirror and be grossed out by. Just ugh.
Yeah.
And it's that's I imagine it being incredibly douchey and like everything's so clean, and you know, everybody seems to hold themselves to a higher esteem, but of course that means they also look down on the people that they think they're better than. And like, it doesn't help that like some of the people from the academy that have come to the shows have just been like so disrespectful. And like, I know disrespectful, but they're like worse.
Entitled.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh,
That is exactly it. And I'm like, you're in Haven, Massachusetts. You have why? Just fuck off.
yeah. Okay. Lear, what place has banned you and your kind from ever stepping foot inside? And what threat made this seem serious?
Interesting. I think Lear doesn't go out a lot, specifically, and for a specific like sense of where he doesn't and isn't allowed to go. I think maybe there's a, I think there's a like a street of small businesses, just kind of like a sort of like marketplace type area in Haven. And I think there was maybe an incident of Lear either, you know, swiping something when he didn't have some money, and he maybe got harangued by some of the folks, who like some of the shopkeepers there. And I just think maybe one of them essentially told him like some like big guy who either like threatened him or threatened to call call some sort of like call like the police or something on him. um i think I think either the language he used or the specific like put downs he used to threaten Lear were the ones that sort of made him realize like, oh, I'm not welcome here by like, like children staring at him, dogs barking at him, like people just not even looking at him like a person. I think it's more or less he just does not belong there. And it's sort of that like hub of people where they get to go on their everyday.
There was a mall where I lived that felt exactly like what you're describing is how I felt. Like I go in there, it's like, oh, I don't belong here at all. Everyone is out of my bracket.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it's, he can't necessarily afford anything there because he doesn't really have money, but also the fact that like as he walks around the streets, people just look at him like, yeah, you're really not supposed to be here.
Okay, and finally, Cecilia. There's a place in Haven that you can go to, even though you shouldn't be able to for some reason. How do you accomplish this?
Um, I'm wondering if the Carnival's arrangement with the Rodriguez diner is very fixed, so we can show up late at night after a show when they didn't have very many customers anyway, because nobody really wants us there. But that's an arrangement because our money is good. But other than that, we're not really welcome there. But maybe Cecilia goes there in the morning for coffee and breakfast or something. And she maybe just changes her appearance a little bit and just acts as if she's one of those horrible preppy students from the academy. Um, Maybe she has one of their blazers or something that she filched.
I am a bit leery about this because the Rodriguez diners seem to be like a haven for the carnival.
Okay, yeah, I don't negate what we did there. Let me think of something else. Yeah, maybe there is maybe there's like a private park associated with the academy.
Ooh.
So you're very exclusive, but I'll use that idea that she has filched a blazer on a previous trip, and I guess she doesn't really interact with people, but from a distance she looks like she belongs.
I like this. Okay, I think it's a good time to take a break. Let's be back 10 after the hour, and I will have some questions for the families your characters may or may not have, or in a way, and a few more questions, setting up the grounds. Play. See you then. I have cheaply gotten family questions. I am happy. I should have thought of that before the game, but I'm an imperfect ferret.
Lies and slander. You are not an imperfect ferret. You can be an imperfect Sawyer, but as ferret, you are the perfect ferret.
Okay. I guess I'll take this reassurance.
Good. Oh, Sawyer, by the way, this will probably be something for a little bit later, but when you get the chance, do you think you could also add all of like the NPCs and stuff to the
Yes,
gatekeeper?
I definitely will when I after session this session I'll put everyone up there. I have them in my notes, but yeah,
I figured as much. I just wanted to make sure that we all had access to them.
definitely. I don't want to keep them back. And welcome back, Leandro. Okay, let's get with these cheap cheap family questions, and then set ourselves up around the world. So, Cecilia, who raised you? Are they still around?
Um, I think there's an NPC who's like the current head of the sideshow, right?
Not the current. I think that's Vikram. You're thinking about.
Yes, yeah, maybe. I'm wondering if it could be him.
Oh,
Does that fit?
definitely.
Or
That's
okay.
perfectly fine.
And I think maybe this is why I am so critical of Lear, because I think Vikram's legacy and what he has built is really valuable to the Carnival, and I don't want to see it ruined.
Okay, I like that. Lear, same question. Who raised you? Are they still around? You're muted right now. Don't forget.
I promise I'll get used to this eventually. I think so. Can we use one of the NPCs that's in our list here?
Yes, you may.
Excellent. I like the idea of Mother Tribute, having been a sort of mother figure to Lear.
Oh.
However, he does not. He thinks her fortune telling is a load of BS, specifically because she told him his future, and she said that he will be destroyed by fire, which is like, that can't even happen. What are you talking about? So he thinks she's a bit of a hack, but he does respect that she plays the part of a hack very well.
Oh, thank you. And I'm not going to do anything with that prediction at all.
No, of course not. Yeah, no. So yeah, fire will be his undoing, I think were the exact words, but
okay.
What are you talking about? I'm fine.
Rodney, who raised you? Are they still around?
I think my father was the original strongman of this carnival. and he is not still around. I'm not sure on his name at this very moment, but when I got to about 12 or 13, there was some accident that happened. They say it was an accident. And he passed. Some say that it was due to a drug overdose. Some say that there was a trailer that got off its hinges and crushed him. No one has the same story, and no one seems to be willing to tell me the truth.
Okay, and if I may add a prod, do you perhaps live with the animal tamer or the amazing Owens family now?
Definitely the animal tamer, because much like Imogen, they don't seem to mind me.
Gotcha. And Astoria, you get the different question. Astoria, what couldn't you stand about your parents? And do you think they're even worried about you?
What I couldn't stand about my parents is that they were just they're not the best people. They are, and I've used this archetype in other games before, but I like using them. They're kind of they're wealthy people is the thing. But they're not like old money or whatnot. They are. I think my dad is a hedge fund broker. Got rich in the 80s or so. Just keep getting rich, and and my mother kind of joined in on that. They get rich off lying to people and bilking them for all they're worth. And so they're kind of like the two people that Astoria would be happy to never see again. I think they're they're not humorless. They're full of life and they're full of laughter, but it's always at the expense of others.
Yes. And
Ugh,
do you think they're even worried about you?
I don't care.
Good response. Okay, now everyone in the character keeper, please go to the grounds. These trailers are each like if you know trailer park trailers at all, or like sort of RV trailers, they're about that big. They should be able to move, but most of them have been here so long the wheels are flat, rotted off, display. But you will each have your own trailer. You may share it with someone if you like, but I will say Lear, Mother Tribute, has her own like trailer that she does not share with anyone. But yeah, just put your name in on one of the trailers, and it will be yours. Okay, and we know what Lear's show is. We have a good idea what Rodney and Astoria's shows are, with the fortune telling and the strong manning, respectively. Cecilia, what do you think you do as like your carnival? Like, do you even perform, or are you just a functionary, for a lack of better term?
I think Cecilia has her hands in a lot of acts, providing distractions for some, or the odd bit of curious intelligence that Mother Tribute will find useful for cold reading, that kind of thing. No act in and of herself, but helping out everyone to make theirs better, I think.
She's the professional plant, for a lack of better words.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, that works. So Cecilia, you don't like. I think you will have you'll probably run maybe or share running the gift shop trailer or venue, for lack of better term, since you're mainly, your job is to walk around and learn things. So so on the grounds besides the two conjoined circles, feel free to choose an area where you perform your show. And I assume the grounds are kind of large, at least a few acres, kind of like if you've ever been to a Renaissance festival, I suppose, kind of like that level of wide space and openness, or at least they are in Nashville. I'm not sure about other places, but for your again prods, maybe Rodney has a stage where he just lifts things and benches audience members who come up, things like that. And so just put your name where you perform, and we will have that set up there. Let me place where Mother Tribute is. Okay, I think after our setup, I will place the food place, or the place you get fried donuts, the place where you go see the animal events, that kind of thing. But I know where you guys want to be. That is good. We have strings, we have characters. So I think with a lack of any more setup, we can get into the beginning of session 0.5. I'm going to hard set us at the before, not before dawn, but the before the carnival opens up for the day, the setup parts. And I'm going to ask, does anyone want to frame themselves in a scene, or should I start hard framing people? Okay, I think Rodney, there is dew on the grass. Luckily, this is closer to summer in the Berkshires because it can get really cold up here. And you can wear your muscle, you can wear what shows off your physique now and lets people know you're the strong man. And I believe you're helping set up Astoria's tent for the first time. And Astoria, you've finally gotten your own tent. It took a while for the actual material to come in, but Mother Tribute actually paid out of the coffers to get you a new tent. You are a new attraction. And I Astoria, are you trying to help Rodney? Are you just watching him and directing? What is Astoria doing, and how is Rodney feeling? Basically, whoever wants to go first.
Astoria is, I think, definitely helping. I think she already has her working clothes on, which is the aforementioned ridiculous coat with those ruffles. And the tent is kind of on that motif as well. It's stripy black and white sort of, night circusy sort of vibe going on. But she definitely is trying to help out with the actual physical labor, because in her mind she doesn't want to be seen as just because I got a new tent doesn't mean I'm not going to slack off.
And I think that how Rodney's feeling right now. I'm very much. I'm used to doing this by myself. I think at the beginning, people just kind of occasionally tried to help, but for the most part, they kind of got in the way. And then even other people, I'd start setting up and occasionally start up like some conversation, and it would go a line or two in, and I'd turn around and they'd be just kind of lying around or like off doing something else, and I just kind of be left to my own devices. And the fact that Astoria is helping, and frankly, having an idea of what she actually wants from this and not getting in the way is strange. Like, I'm not used to this. Dare I say it, I'm even a little bit uncomfortable, just in the sense that she's not like ordering me around, or at least ordering me around in the sense that she's not following through on her own.
Yeah, I get sense like they part of it, it's less so much instructing you, it's more like telling you kind of like what her plans are. Yeah, I like that notion that she seems like she knows what she wants, and it's very much like, okay, so this tent, it's not the biggest, but I don't need it to be the biggest because the big fortune telling attraction over there, that's Mother Tribute. I'm here basically to be like, if you don't want to see your big plans for the future, I'm kind of like I'm gonna be the helpful one that that people can afford, I guess, but more like prodding them in the right direction, so to speak. So like black and white, that's gonna stand out here, and then it's gonna be fairly small, I guess. Maybe if you want to, the wall should extend a bit, give them a bit of space, and then I'm just gonna like I'll take up the back half of the tent, and there'll be like a table there, or maybe some bookcases. Like I'm like Mother Tribute has all like the jewelry and whatnot. While my environment should be like a bit more erudite and all that. And she's gonna keep babbling on. Like,
and I think as she's babbling on, the surprise is mostly in the sense that at first Rodney is sort of like placing things down and kind of like looking back, going, here, like not saying it, but kind of looking like, are you sure? And then the fact that she just keeps going, he starts moving with almost a little bit more confidence and a little bit more like, okay, here. And he's following along at a fairly decent pace. This setting up a tent is nothing new. What's new is the fact that normally people come into this going, I don't know if I like that, let's put that here, and everybody has to figure out what works best. And there's such a clear vision that Rodney is actually seeing it.
Yeah, I think once they're kind of done, I'm standing at the. Oh, go on.
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I've been called away for something I need to go take care of. I will be right back.
Okay.
All right. The GM has gone. This game is ours now. No dice, no masters. There we go.
Ebon, more like be gone. No, I wouldn't do that to him.
No.
That would be the worst way to repay him for his kindness.
Honestly, the more I stare at this coat, the more I want it.
Yeah. I mean, when I found the picture for Rodney, I took one look at it and was just like, look, I've always liked my hair, but I would not mind having that hair. That is cool. I wouldn't make it look good at all. Like, that looks good, but I'd be like, oh, that is so cool. Also, because my hair is just very curly by nature, and like trying to do anything with it requires me to like cut it down to a manageable size.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like I wake up and I'm like, yes, I have resident bedhead. And it will never leave. It will never leave. That is just what I've been cursed with. But, kind of reflects my nature at this point.
Definitely. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough look to pull off, but somehow this person's doing it in this
I
picture.
know.
It looks like it shouldn't work, but it does.
I know. And I was like going, okay, how do I make Rodney work and still like work in sort of the Monsterhearts 2 setting? And then I saw that and I was just like, oh, that explains it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that works. And me going, and he's attractive to boot, which works.
Actually, I played a game Monsters with Yoshi back in December, and he showed me his Monsters 2 Pinterest board, which is basically like, I need a hot teenager or young person, and it's just a
careful
board. Yeah, it's a hot young person, and it's a diverse board as well.
Right.
So
Yeah.
It's, as cast by CW, so mid-20s,
Exactly.
but passes for teenager.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Sorry for that, guy. The roof on our outside part of the house is leaking, and I had to go tell the person who's working on it when I start seeing it and everything like that.
That's fair.
you didn't miss much. We just turned this game into Dream Askew, so everyone has elements now. We don't need you anymore. So
okay, everyone has elements. I'm going to start playing the queen then, and I'm going to rule over the wall.
Oh God, no. My favorite bit is that like right after you left, I was like, Ebon, more like be gone.
you could have just let that stay in the recording, and Ferret would never know. But
oh, he'd go back and no, I could have, but no, I had to tell him. I had to share it.
Anyway, back to the scene. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. Yeah. So the bit I left off at was just that Rodney's actually moving with a little bit more confidence and alacrity, just because he's used to setting up tents, but he can actually clearly kind of piece together the vision that a story is coming up with.
yeah, I think once we kind of move some of the the knickknacks in, I'm standing at the tents like, Rodney, can you stand over here? I'm kind of like so I think the desk is there. There's a bookcase. There's some like weird. There's some knickknacks on the desk. I'm kind of like, what do you think?
It's a tent.
I mean, we're all in tents, but like, well, not just a tent. Like the setup there. What do you think? Like, so do you think when people come in, they'd be like intrigued or put off? I don't know. What are you feeling?
Do you really want my honest opinion?
Of course. Like, everyone's opinion matters. Well, yours, definitely.
And I think Rodney stops and thinks about it, because this is the first time he's actually been asked that in like ever. And he just kind of like looks, kind of cocks his head a bit and just goes, I think it has the makings of a good tent. I think I don't think there's anything missing, but I think I'd like to see it when people are actually here. I'm more of a visualizer when I can actually see the things happening, which I guess is just never mind.
No, I get you. Like, I mean, I could dream that people come in and be interested and whatnot, but I can't guess what people think. No, you're right. But thanks for saying it. It looks good. Anyway, I do believe you mean that.
Yeah, well, why would I make that up?
I didn't mean you would. It's just it means a lot, Rodney. Is there anything I could do to help back? Like, you've been really helpful. Like, I was planning on doing this by myself, but you here sped it up my schedule quite a lot.
I'm going to ask an MC question to Rodney. Is this kindness she's showing you turning you on?
Yeah.
All right, I guess I should roll. This is not the weirdest turn on I've ever done. I once managed to turn someone on by talking to them about the existential difference between life and death. And I had to be like,
I mean, you call that weird. I call that a day in the life.
well, I got a 9, so
A 9. Okay.
So you may make your choice. Do you give her a string? Do you act awkward and embarrassed? Promise her something you think she wants, or try to work out this tent another way?
I part of me is like it's too early for that. The other part of me is like, wee! But no. I don't think that's quite in Rodney's radar yet. I'm gonna go ahead and promise something I think you want, and just say that I don't have anything at this moment that I can think of that you might be able to help me with. But how about this? If you ever need some heavy lifting done of any kind, and I mean any kind, let me know. And in return, well,
I'll keep that in mind, Rodney. Again, thanks so much.
yeah.
Why don't you? What do you mean? You can pop by later, see if it's working. I'll even, need your fortune if you're into that.
I don't think there's much in the future for me, but I'll stop by. Should be interesting.
Well, I hope it is.
Cool. Leandro, you were not selfish. You were very unselfish. I'm going to award you a point of integrity.
Oh, it's nice to play a nice person for once.
I know, it's so weird for me to see you playing a nice person. Normally there would have been an Oasis joke and you would have slapped someone by now. I'm going to do another hard cut with, this time I think, Cecilia, you're eating breakfast with Vikram, who is actually quite a skilled chef with, what's around Haven. He's lived here long enough, he knows what to make with it. And I think you're sitting around these tables that are like the Carney's tables, and it's the sideshow time to eat. And Lear, you're showing up with like your plate of food for the morning as well. Does Lear sit down with Cecilia and Vikram?
I think off the stage, Lear is a lot shyer. And once he sort of gets on stage, he definitely sort of assumes a little bit more of a showman, kind of charismatic persona. But I think today, are we kind of the only people in the sort of like eating area?
This feels like sort of like a picnic area to me,
Okay.
set up. But like I think like everyone from the sideshow is eating. But like since Cecilia and Vikram are kind of not like they're the higher ups. Like you're welcome to sit at the table. A lot of the other people would be like sitting with the nobility, of lack of better terms.
Gotcha. In that case, I think he's going to attempt to sit with Vikram and Cecilia. He's going to plop his food down, kind of take a seat with them. He says, "Good morning to both of you. Seems like a nice day. What's on the agenda for today?"
I was just talking with Cecilia about, well, I need new swords. They do go down my throat and are developing a bit of rust.
Oh yeah, rust. That's that's bad for the throat, I've heard.
You'd imagine, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's one's vocal cords must remain intact in order to become an adequate performer. So I definitely think, rust, not good, definitely.
Not rust. Yeah, I must note that when I go shopping.
You may not have as much in the normal amount as you would, Cecilia. I've heard Mother Tribute spent quite a bit on that new Astoria girl.
Have you seen that tent? Shiny and white. I mean,
Did
it'll
you?
last a season, and it will be muddy and grey, and her whole shtick will be ruined. I mean,
I get the feeling that she's here to stay. I think she'll be quite an asset to us. I think I definitely think the folks will like her act a bit more genuine and than Mother Tributes, perhaps.
well, there. I think you put your finger on the pulse. Her act is genuine. That's like that's something I would have liked to come up with myself.
Lear sort of smiles because, as a performer, he definitely gets the irony, but totally embraces it.
Yeah, and Vikram chuckles at your antics. Like, I wish she would have gotten us some new artwork when she commissioned that full scroll of Astoria in Carnival art.
I mean, is there something we can do with the current swords to scrub them? Get rid of that rust. Maybe we can make our budget stretch a little bit.
And he like brings out his phone, like looks up this certain kind of like polishing oil and like shows it to you. He's like, if you can get this, I can work with them for a few more months.
Okay, but a couple of trips to antique shops, maybe.
I hear there's a new hardware store opening up in Haven. Maybe they'll carry it.
Maybe they'll have some plowshares. We can turn them into swords, right?
He grins like, and he looks around like, it's not our way. And when he says our way, he means like the sideshow way to turn the other cheek all the time, all the odd often. But Haven is changing. We might want to change with it, I guess. And he like skewers this extremely hot pepper stuffed with vegetables in it and just puts it in his mouth like it is nothing.
I think Lear is going to sort of seeing that. I think he's going to take whatever food is on his plate, piping hot, and just sort of start shoving it in his mouth as if to kind of be like, yeah, I can too. Like, and what would probably burn someone's tongue to blisters, he finds a little spicy.
Boys.
A bit, and it is a bit of like mocking Vikram a little bit, in good nature, but I think it is mocking.
Do you want to try and shut him down, like through good-natured mocking?
Yeah, I think so. Is that because? Yeah, familiar. I'm not super familiar with.
That would be rolling with cold.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So I add 1 to this. I'm gonna be rolling physical dice if that's cool.
That's perfectly fine.
I promise I won't lie. I won't lie because I got a 1 and a 2, so I got a 4 in total.
Okay, so you do mark experience?
Yes, I do.
And let me check out what moves I can make.
Please do.
I know which one I want to do, but yeah, Vikram looks sort of nonplussed at your eating antics. Well, if you're so eager to get on with the day, I guess you can go find Rodney and help him put up the tents for the big show.
I think Lear almost chokes as he's getting this food down. And someone probably has to like pat him on the back, and he says, "Yeah, okay. Rodney? Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem. I'm sure I can be. I'm sure I can pick up the heavy stuff."
If it's all right in terms of timing, maybe Cecilia can get up, and as Lear is coughing, she will pat him on the back, none too gently, and say something like, "Well, you better save your strength for the fire later on, because it sounds like you can't handle everything in one gulp there."
Ooh. Are you shutting him down?
I mean, sure.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Oh, the Harpy special.
So let me just I'm not sure if I count as shutting him down in front of witnesses. There's just Vikram here.
No,
really.
the entire sideshow is technically in the scene, so it does count as witnesses.
Okay.
You do have an audience.
Okay. I rolled a 5, so that is an 8 total.
Okay. You get to choose one from the list, and then one from your Lightning Talons list. And Lear can either lose a string on you. He has a string on you, so one option is taken away. You can give Lear a condition, or you can take one forward on your next roll.
I only get one extra on my Lightning Talons when I get a 10 up. So
okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to give Lear a condition, and it's going to be something like not all that. If that sounds good to you.
I think so.
Yeah.
Not all that. So like a little like insecure in his own.
Not as brilliant as he likes to think himself.
I like that.
If that fits.
And since Cecilia got a 7 to 9, Lear also gets to give her a condition because she didn't come off that great. And conditions in Monsterhearts are like in the narrative. If they would make sense for a roll, you may tag it to add one to your roll. Like you're not all that. So if you go meet Rodney and you're sort of like messing around with him, and Rodney like pushes you out of the way, Rodney could tag you're not all that because he's like, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah.
Quick question. That's not something I can ever tag from my. Like, I mean, obviously, not all that probably has no beneficial things, but like, say someone were enraged, like, could you tap it yourself to give yourself a bonus?
There are moves with enraged. That's my creation, pretty much. I have it so there are moves where you can tag enraged yourself, which is why it's and like the Hollow has some moves where if you allow your conditions to influence yourself, you can get like bonuses to rolls, remove them, things like that.
Cool, but under normal circumstances, you don't really tag your own. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are no like list of conditions. You just sort of hand out what you think feels good, clever, punny.
Definitely. I think in response to Cecilia, I think Lear definitely kind of like hunches over a little bit. He's maybe not as, he maybe has trouble looking anybody in the eye right now. And he probably sees some people like looking at him, and he does not like people looking at him in these kinds of situations. So I think he's going to kind of excuse himself, pick up his tray or whatever else he has and just kind of like dump it and get out of there.
But what condition are you going to give Cecilia back?
Oh, I would give you a condition. In that case, I think the condition that I would give you back, based on just what she rolled. It comes from the 7 to 9. That okay, and then
because she did not come across like she was not as effortless in her insult.
In that case, so you come across. Okay, I think a condition would be like kicked a puppy, in the sense that maybe people feel bad for the poor little sideshow freak.
That is a bit wordy. Like, maybe ruffled because you got under her feathers.
Oh, that's even more punny. I love that.
Yeah. So Cecilia, there's a harpy in my game on Saturday, and I gave her the condition chicken. So I mean, I am full of harpy puns.
Now I see where. Okay, I see where this comes from. Got it.
So,
Right.
sorry, is this like got under my skin because
I thi-
everyone understands how important Vikram is to Cecilia? And
I think it's like they know you were ruffled because like you got up to like you put in an energy in this insult.
okay, sure, cool. Okay.
I like
Yeah,
it.
and so Lear's leaving the scene. Cecilia, is there anything else in the scene you want to do before it ends?
No, I think yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of tidy up and then get ready to go into Haven and shop around for that polisher, right? If
Okay,
that sounds all right.
that sounds perfect. And I think I'm going to like. Does anyone want to have a scene again? Like I'm always open for people framing their own scenes. I'm fine hard framing, but I want to give you guys chances to.
Just a small thing. I know that Lear was told to head off and help Rodney,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm interested to see that play out a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that was what I was going to hard frame if no one had a scene anyway. So thank you very much.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think Lear, you're walking around the grounds, coughing up a bit.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like hock a loogie and spit out like something and it has like egg in it.
yeah, and you get and I think you start checking yourself out because you're looking for a cigarette to calm yourself down, and you do that very cinematic thing of like pulling out a crumpled pack,
Yeah.
and there's nothing in it, and it's just like you throw the pack down on the ground and just keep going, and like by the time you're like you're so worried about like yourself, like you literally walk into Rodney,
Oh,
Rodney, you're looming as your look, right? How tall would you say Rodney is?
I'd say like 6'5".
Okay, so yeah, like Lear looks up and up at Rodney.
yeah. I don't envision Lear being a tall man, and he is currently hunched over in shame. So I definitely think it's a big height difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the minute you walk into me, I instinctively just kind of go watch it, and then I like look down and I go, oh, hey.
Hey, big guy, how's it going? I was told you were having some trouble moving some, I don't know, large barrels or something, and well, I came to help you out. And I kind of like nervously kind of like pat him on the chest.
I just kind of like look down at my chest, and then I look at my arms, and I go, who told you I needed help?
Vikram, he probably wanted me to leave him alone, but you know, I'm sure I can be of use somehow, and if not, I can just be on my way. I have my own show to set up, so. Rodney definitely looks like he wants to like either like like pass this off as like it's just whatever.
Yeah. Oh wait, do you mean Lear?
Lear.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm not you. I don't get to decide that. I meant Lear. Yeah.
Good, because Rodney's looking down at you. Just like I even did the breathing thing, and I'm like, oh wait, I am a Minotaur. This works out great.
Yeah, a lot of nostril breathing for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm leaning into that.
Yeah.
And I think I just kind of like, all right, come on. There's probably something you can help me with.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure to keep you out of Vikram's hair or whatever. It's not worth it to get on his nerves, especially before the carnival's even started. Leave that to the people.
Yeah, and you are setting up the big tent, which it is a lot like a lot of the carnies are doing it, and Rodney's job is to basically set up like the rings in the like move things around, set up like put this barrel here, put this hoop that's going to be set on fire here. Make sure and like Lear is probably doing things like oh, this is the kerosene line. I know fire. Like maybe if like the animal enters like this way or like it trim the mane down this bit for this width kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but I think who is helping is Imogen Hughes.
Hmm.
Mm.
She's our ticket vendor.
Yes,
Okay,
she,
good.
and I imagine Imogen as a kind of like a bohemian hipster. Like, she has a different light color of hair every time. Her glasses are cat eyes, even though she probably doesn't even need them. Like, there are no lenses; they're just cat eye glasses that she thinks make her look better. She will generally have like some kind of indie band that you've never heard of on her shirt, but from a concert that no one went to. Like, they're eBayed, but she likes the cred. And you guys are like, I think Rodney is. You guys get to the big tent sort of place, and Imogen's like halfway through a cigarette and just waves at Rodney. He's like, "Hey, oh, you have a friend with you today."
I have
Uh,
someone with me today.
Uh, Lear kind of nervously laughs because that was awkward. But he walks up. Has he met Imogen or has?
Oh yeah, he's met
Yeah.
Imogen
Okay.
before.
All right. Good. Yeah. I'm here to do the heavy lifting today.
Oh, you poor boys.
I think this actually is one of the few things that does make Rodney laugh, because he's just like, yes, you're here to do the heavy lifting, and I'm here to clearly be the model and like look pretty and stuff.
Yeah.
And
We've switched jobs.
and Imogen looks like really shocked. Like, takes a deep drag. It's like, oh fuck, that makes me Mother Tribute.
So, Mother Tribute, do you have any predictions for how today might go?
You two are going to join me for another cigarette. Oh, the voices have heard me. The voices have heard me. Ouija.
Do you have any other cigarettes?
Yeah, of course I do. I'm sorry for
Okay.
them. And she pulls out her pack and offers one to each of them.
Excellent. Yeah. He pulls out his lighter. He sort of like he lights it up and he kind of like runs it along his hand for a second to like light it, and then he lights up the cigarette and he goes to town.
Mm.
And she sighs, like, Mother Tribute handed Astoria this stack of cash to accentuate her tent. Tarot cards, crystals, that kind of bullshit.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but she does seem like one of the few people who, right off the bat, has an idea of what she wants to do, which is
Yeah.
unusual.
But I'm kind of worried that Mother Tribute's setting her up to fail.
Really?
How do you think that?
Look at this is the first new act at Ebon Carnival for what? A decade. We didn't get a new act when your father died, Rodney. And now she's putting up this girl who's threatening her position. She wants her to fail. She wants people to trust her, not this newbie. And she's willing to put a shit ton of money behind this as a gimmick.
Well, I think the only thing for Astoria to do is then exceed expectations, right? We all have to, compete with the fact that we've all got a gimmick, and gimmicks can tend to get old.
Yeah,
Are
but
you
go
are
ahead.
you are you suggesting that we help her?
I'm not suggest. Oh, are you talking to Lear or Imogen?
I'm very, very much Lear, because Lear was saying then she should exceed expectations, and I'm like, how are we going to do that?
Well, gosh. I mean, we can hype her up in our acts. We could, we could show her the ropes. We can show her where best to, where best to drum up business for her act. Obviously, if Mother Tribute is is maybe trying to pull a fast one here. I'm not sure. It makes sense why her tent is kind of towards the back of the show, or is it? It's it's right off to the side where not a whole lot's going on.
It's not a good idea to go against Mother Tribute.
Yeah, but that's always the most fun thing to do, isn't it?
Ooh. And Imogen coughs, smiles. Like, he's right. It's pretty fun.
Listen, I love the old lady, but I mean, listen, if she's getting possessive about her gimmick, maybe it's because her gimmick's gotten played out.
Oh, wow. That is maybe not far off. All right. Well, I did tell her I'd keep an eye on things and come and visit. Maybe I can help somehow. I don't know. I might make matters worse.
Yeah.
And Imogen chuckles. You may make matters messy, but you don't make matters worse, Rodney. You handle things.
And I literally think he just like opens his mouth and just like closes it because he's like, what is it with today? People keep saying nice things.
Be careful. He's only had 2 nice things said to him in his whole life. Now 2 in one day.
Are you shutting him down?
I am going to say be careful or else I'll say something nice to you and then that'll ruin your whole day.
I would say, are you shutting him down or are you trying to turn him on, maybe?
I honestly think I'm trying to make him smile. So I really think that'd more be turning him on.
Oh, yay! This can
Yeah.
only go well.
Oh, it absolutely can because my hot is -1. So
Oh no!
I ain't hot. I eat hot. I ain't hot though.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Fantastic. Okay, that is a 7.
Ooh.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's a success, but
Rodney gets to choose from the list
yes.
this time.
So he either chooses to give me a string or choose from one of the options. He can give himself to me. Not sure if we're there yet, Rodney. Promise something he thinks I want, or he can get embarrassed and act awkward.
Definitely get embarrassed and act awkward.
Yeah.
Because really, like, what's he get? Like, he basically mumbles out something like, "Yeah, well, you say something nice about me, and I'll just." Ugh. Like he doesn't even get out like a proper good response or anything. He's just like really, like he's uncomfortable because like in a way like the Carnival's his family, and yet why are so much of his family presenting him with so many weird things to think about?
Because it's a good family. It's not dysfunctional at all.
It's super dysfunctional. I just like how this time you were like, I don't think we're there yet, Rodney. And I was like, I don't think so either. But this is starting to become a thing where who knows, this month could be full of surprises.
Yeah. Lear, when Rodney acts like kind of like seems exasperated, Lear sort of takes a step back. He's like, oh, is he going to go off on me? Did I say too much? But then he sort of like realized like, oh, he's just as uncomfortable as I am. Good.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things where like Rodney's starting to like just a tiny bit when people say nice things. So I think he kind of gets out that exasperated sound he's making, but like I think when you look away like okay, things are okay, I smile a little bit. So it worked, but I'm not giving you the satisfaction.
Yeah. Great.
And as you three are like smoking away, complimenting each other, someone comes out. It's like, we need help inside. Break's over. And Imogen, like, puts out her cigarette. Like, okay. It was nice talking to you guys. And, if you're going to talk to Mother Tribute, I didn't say anything.
Didn't say anything about what.
Thank you.
No, I what?
Thank you. You're really good at this, Rodney.
Stop saying nice things.
Yeah, we're gonna cut the scene there it is the top of the hour. I've taken the break talking to the guy. Do other people need another break?
I just finished off this cup of coffee, so I might need like just a 5-minute break
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, let's do a 5-minute break. We'll cut back to Cecilia and Astoria going shopping.
Yes, sounds good.
I like the dynamics we have going so far.
Me too. I
Same.
mean, just Ryan, I know this is like your first game with the gauntlet and everything. You're fitting right in so well, and
Oh.
I'm like absolutely loving everything that you're bringing.
I'm glad to hear it. I don't get to be a player as often. I'm sure many people in the Gauntlet might attest to. I am what is known as the designated DM for my group. So it's always exciting to be a player. So I try and ham it up as much as possible.
Well, you are a stellar player, so
Well,
don't
thank you.
worry a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice to play with you guys. You guys are great.
I was the eternal MC of my group for the longest time. Then, like, the gauntlet came around, I was like, I can play in games. This is so refreshing.
I know.
Okay. We have everyone back. I think we're going to cut to like the edge of the Carnival, just a bit past Imogen's normal ticket counter. And I believe, Cecilia, you're heading out to go shopping, but you see. Oh, go ahead. You had something.
Sorry. So I think Cecilia is thinking that she will, knowing that Astoria is busy setting up her tent and her act, will offer to pick something up if she needs anything in town,
Ooh.
with absolutely no dubious intentions, obviously.
Oh, this is good. I think this is a lot better than I was going to set up. I think Astoria, you've been given a small list of things, like, tarot cards, crystals, New Age woo, relics to put around your tent to make yourself look more presentable as a fortune teller. And Cecilia, do you want this to happen at Astoria's tent?
I guess I will be walking by casually, but not too casually, and I will, if it's not obvious that Astoria is elsewhere, I will poke my head in the tent and tell her what I'm up to. I'm heading into town. If you need anything for tonight.
I think you poke your head in. Her Story's back is turned to you, and she's kind of like looking at the desk and it's kind of like need something. And then when you come in, it's like you probably see like her defenses are a bit up, but she kind of turns and just like, hi, Cecilia. I think I'm good. Hold on, let me check. She kind of pulls out a list. It's like, you know where to get a crystal ball in town?
I mean, if you had some kind of way to divine its location, maybe it'd be a lot easier to find. But I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Well, my shtick is reading people. I don't know if I can read an entire town for all that. I'm still not sure where things are what. Other than that,
well, you know what I'll do? I'll just keep an eye out for anything that could be useful for someone who knows exactly what they want.
okay. All right, that's it. Okay, I know exactly what I want. She kind of looks at the desk like, okay, all right, hold on. Okay. Cecilia, can you get me an empty wine bottle?
Sure. I mean, I might have to do something with what's inside it, but
well, if anyone asked, I didn't hear anything about that. But yeah, I just needed it. It kind of completes the thing.
Okay, an empty one, sure.
All right, cool. Thanks. Thanks very much. And you can tell she kind of wants to ask you something, but it's you, and I don't know.
Go on, don't be shy, Astoria. I won't bite.
I was just wondering. I've not asked anyone this, but I was just curious. Did Mother Tribute ever give you an act?
did she ever give me an act? I don't think she gives anyone acts. I think people come to them like, what do they call those things? Vocations. You're either made for your act or you're not.
Well, that when Sue says gives, sorry, kind of feels the just close in just a bit on her. Well, okay. I get that. Did you ever want an act though?
What could I possibly bring that everyone here isn't doing fantastically all by themselves?
Well, I would have thought you would know. Like you've been here a while, and I'll be honest. If you're not here, I don't know if like Carnival runs as good as it does.
Yeah, let's go with that. The whole carnival is my act.
I just, I don't know. Are you okay with that?
Am I okay with the whole carnival being my act? I mean, yeah. It's the most awesomest carnival in all of the Berkshires. Is it the only?
Some days I can't tell if you're being sarcastic at me, Cecilia. I'm sorry.
Well, we'll have to work on that, won't we?
Yeah.
I think during this awkward moment that just to make it even more awkward, Hank comes in. And Hank is like the quintessential stereotypical carny. He rigs games, he buys cheap food to be fried, he cuts corners, he slacks off. He is pretty much the worst employee Ebon Carnival has, and no one knows exactly why Mother Tribute keeps him around. And he comes in smelling of marijuana and spirits. And he looks and is like, "Oh, hey girls. Astoria, this is a nice place you have built. Cecilia, you're checking it out too then, huh?" And like, he's like looking at like this decoration that's been put in like a bit too intensely.
I'm definitely checking it all out, Hank.
Yeah, I hope people like it. That, and I think I pointed out the decoration Hank's tongue, which is I think a bunch of like Victorian style hazy photos. What do you call those? I don't know how to pronounce the word. Daguerreotypes or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like faded yellowing kind of photographs for that, that charming 19th century aesthetic.
And then Hank gets this grin on his face like, "Cecilia, you never gotta tint yourself."
Hank, why would I need to when everyone here, even you, is so fantastic? There's no niche I could fill. I mean, maybe when you stop robbing everyone blind, there'll be some more money to go around.
It's all for the carnival, girl. Don't. It's
Yeah,
on the level.
and if anyone else got the money, we'd all be happier. But no, brand spanking new, shiny white and black tent.
Ooh, is that a shutdown?
Sounds like a
I guess. Presumably, I'm shutting Astoria down, right? Not
I
Hank.
believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me grab my dice and roll them again. Ouch. No, I got a 3. So +2, and even with +1 for a audience, that is a 6.
Yep. So that is a myth. So mark experience and ooh. I think like you say that and you're looking into Hank's eyes as you like badmouth Astoria, and you see there's less respect for you. than he normally would have had, and and this is definitely since Astoria came, that your position is more tenuous now.
Plus, maybe because I'm calling into judgment Mother Tribute's decision here, right?
Yes, like I'm not. I don't want to name the move up here, but this is definitely a bad feeling.
Yeah, sure.
I think when Cecilia says that, I kind of pipe up and say, "Hey, I'm still I'm standing right. Well, okay, I'm standing right here, and look, I'm not going to pretend that this is, it's probably not how Carnival works, but I don't intend to just flame out. Okay, I'm doing my best. All this it's all for the Carnival. It's not just for me. Okay, I want to give back to Carnival as much as either of you do.
And Hank nods like, "You are such a good soul. You are going to make this carnival into something so much grander." And he just looks at Cecilia. "Don't mind her. She's well. I mean, she talked about you while you were here. She's a bit bitter."
I think there's who I think Astoria's kind of like, the thing is, I know what she'd want to say, but Cecilia's right here, so she wants to be polite. I think Astoria says like, well, I just want to help, and maybe there's something I can do. And she turns to this, so that I don't know. You be less bitter. I don't want to presume, but I do just want to help.
I think Cecilia's parting shot as she kind of walks out of the tent to go shopping is no, keep going. It's obviously much better and more honest and everything to say it behind my back.
Oh, I love this Harpy. Yeah, and I'm going to do like a bit of a time skip to about noon when the carnival opens for like the afternoon. Like everything's been set up, but I think like Cecilia has been out and about for a while. Like you can still be out in Haven. We can set you coming back to the carnival, but I would like to get a scene with Cecilia and Rodney, and then hopefully a final scene with Astoria and Lear, so everyone's interacting with everyone, if that's okay. So, like, Cecilia, maybe, like, if you want to be in town, maybe you ask Rodney to come with you. If you want to be coming back in, I can set that scene up too, or you guys can frame it how you want.
What do you think for Rodney? Would it make sense for him to be sent into town to get something else, or?
Oh yes, Rodney. Like Rodney's, as we said, the backstory. Your muscle. Everyone expects you to boss Rodney around.
Yeah. So honestly, it would make sense. It's really your call.
I'm just trying to think of some kind of an excuse that Cecilia would have to call Rodney into town, or maybe it just makes more sense for them to meet up just outside, maybe
maybe
just outside the perimeter.
Yeah, maybe you're bringing stuff in from your shopping trip and need help like getting it to you got like someone drove it to the edge, but then they drove back, and like you need someone bringing it in with you.
Sure. Yeah.
So Rodney, you're coming out to the edge of the carnival grounds. There's a gravel parking lots and several like it looks very again public parky, but and out in the gravel driveway is Cecilia with boxes of kerosene for the sideshow act, enough food for people to eat, like the stuff to fry up, the oil, just lots of everything. Uh, you know, everything for the carnival kind of thing. And Cecilia, how did the trip? Was the trip pleasant? Business? Bad?
So I think the kind of market street that we set up earlier, that's kind of off limits. She will have used her kind of disguise or her incognito mode to do some shopping there and not get rude stares. So I think
it's only off limits to the sideshow. Like Cecilia would be allowed to go there, but
okay.
the sideshow performers, the freaks, aren't allowed.
Okay, I thought it was that. I thought that included everyone from the carnival. So I think it was pretty normal, nothing outstanding about it. The usual kind of banter and haggling with people that goes on. I think Cecilia isn't shy about trying to, shave a few cents or dollars off any kind of deal, and maybe people are used to that. So I think maybe Rodney finds her shedding her Haven mode. She is kind of taking off her academy blazer and kind of taking out her kind of pretty ponytail and kind of restoring herself to her usual shabby carnival going self when he finds her.
Okay. And Rodney, what do you do?
Yeah, so just kind of head out there. I think for a split second, I just kind of like look around at all of this stuff that's now basically sitting out there, and I'm like, all right, what do you need carried first?
Yeah, I don't. The kerosene, maybe.
All right.
Because, I don't like leaving that around.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be the first thing I grabbed, but, don't want to piss anyone off.
I don't think it matters, to be honest. Do you?
People need to stop asking me for my opinion.
Oh, well, I was just saying our opinion doesn't matter.
I'll grab it. It's fine.
What are you? I saw you helping Astoria earlier.
Yeah. New act, new setup. It was actually surprisingly painless.
Surprisingly, well, well, whatever floats your boat.
Doesn't seem to float yours from the sound of things.
Nope. I mean, the bright shining light of this carnival seems to be this blow-in that nobody knows anything about, and nobody. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have another suggestion as to what we should do? Because I don't know if you've noticed, but things don't change a lot here. And I'm starting to think that might not be a good thing.
Well, all I'm saying is that every other act that's been working for years could have done with a little bit of a dig out instead of pumping everything into one new thing that hasn't even been proven yet. But maybe you're right. What do I know? Mother Tribute is in charge. We have to trust her judgment, right?
I don't know. I have no idea what goes on inside that woman's head. Frankly, I don't care to find out.
I mean, you could have done with some new gear, right? a new sign for your tent?
Maybe. I mean, I'm more of a doer. I don't need things to show what I can do. I just do them.
A question. Rodney, are you still using your dad's strongman poster?
I am, yeah. And like we look similar, but there are some
Like I imagine like it's the exact same, but your dad's name has been scrawled out, and like the amazing last name has been put in instead.
yeah. Yeah. In fact, I don't think I've even had the heart to put my name over it. Just the first name has been scrawled out. And actually, that might even be like a stupid joke that some of the teens that come in make. They're like, oh, the amazing Johnson. So what? Is he just like a huge dick?
Oh, I love it. And no, that's Cecilia's job. But anyway, yeah. So Cecilia, I'm going to offer you a prod too. Do you maybe want to tempt Rodney to find out why he's so, I guess, like in his own head today?
Yeah, in fact, I think if it sounds all right, I have a bottle of wine to drink dry in order to provide a story with the empty bottle. So I'm gonna ask him if he wants to share it with me later.
Are you? So how is that working mechanically?
Oh,
I guess I'm
I
asking
can.
because it might be like a string or something.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. To spend a string with you to kind of, I suppose, to share your inner thoughts with me, and I suppose like the kind of in fiction offering is let's have a drink and then we can chat, right?
Yeah.
But the string is to get your have you promise to share what you're thinking with me, maybe.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And this triggers red flag, but the only real good choice to mark experience with this one, I would say, don't you?
I would absolutely agree with that. I was looking over the choices ahead of time, and that's the one that seems to fit the best here.
Yeah. So you have been successfully tempted. There is some good wine on the line. And I mean you have Imogen's words. She asked you not to tell you who said them, but she didn't say don't repeat them.
Yeah, I mean, the temptation was to find out why I'm so in my head today. And I think that the thing about Mother Tribute is something that I'm alluding to, but I think what's really got me in my head, to be completely straightforward, is that for some reason today people keep being nice to me. And that first Astoria, then even Lear said something resembling a nice remark. Imogen said something nice that made absolutely no sense in the context of what I understood. Something about you're good at this, Rodney. And I'm like, I have no idea what she meant. Like, I mean, I lift and I'm strong. And if people need me to carry out something, I do it. And I'm usually good with my fists. And I don't know why, but people seem to be also caring what I do with my head.
So I think Cecilia will say something like, well, I'm never going to be nice to you, just to whatever.
You're never going to be nice to me.
Full stop.
Yeah, no. Trust me. We have... think we have an understanding. I'm not... That... I think that's the right word. It doesn't sound like the right word. Nothing sounds right now.
I think that might be the third glass of wine speaking.
3rd? I thought this was like my 1st or 7th.
When you've lost count, that's when to round up. That's in my experience how to do it.
Yes, your experience. Good. We need more experience. No, you know what? Screw experience. What we need. Let's just burn it all down and start over and do new stuff and down with the old regime. Okay, you know what? I need to go drink a lot of water, and then I need to probably take a very long piss. But good wine. Talk thing.
Sure, Rodney. Anytime.
I'll hold you to that. I think.
And Rodney, I'm going to be a mean MC right now. You're drunk. Everyone's been nice to you, and even though Cecilia says she's not been nice to you, she kind of is. I want you to keep your cool because maybe people are more romantic. Maybe this is more romantic than you think it is, or maybe it's the wine talking.
All right. So that's my -1, 2d6. Do I have... I should say what I'm afraid of.
You certainly should.
Okay. I mean, what I'm afraid will happen is that, like, I'm actually afraid people are being sincere.
Ooh.
Like, if people... if I'm actually worth something, what the fuck am I doing here?
Roll it.
Yeah. That's a 6.
Yeah, so I think like you stand up, and the only play, Cecilia's being too nice, Lear's being too nice. Astoria's always been nice, but that's new. You need to go someplace you know how you're going to be treated. You're heading back to your trailer with the animal tamer that I will name before next session, and you're going back home to the trailer. It's dysfunctional, but at least it's dysfunction you know how it works. Does that work with
Works
you?
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the animal tamer and I will have some talk.
As soon as they talk like that, I imagine just a fist flying at someone's face.
Oh, no. Not that kind of fist. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what kind of drunk I am. People don't usually get me drunk. It's not a good idea to get a strong man drunk.
I love the idea of Rodney the lightweight, too.
Oh,
But
yeah. No. I think it's very much that, like, his dad probably would have been the one to go, like, here's how to measure your drinking. And he never got to that age when his dad was around. So he never really got into it because he just was like, this tastes awful. And the wine tastes surprisingly good.
Yeah, so I'm going to cut that. Like, Cecilia sees Rodney walking off and knows that things are changing. And it may be for the best in some ways, but is it the best for Cecilia? And we cut to the first act of the day. There are maybe like 5 people in front of the stage, and Astoria is in front of the stage too, because Lear is putting on his fire eating act. And I want to throw narrative control to Lear. What does your fire eating, fire breathing act look like?
So I think Lear first kind of warms up the crowd, pun intended, warms up the crowd a little bit with maybe a few just like typical ones where he like takes a swig of kerosene, holds a torch in front of his face and just sprays it out to make a big boom just to attract a crowd. And since he's already done that, He's going to sort of say, "Ladies and gentlemen and folks of all kinds, let me tell you something that I learned way back when I was a boy. They always told me that fire was something to be feared, but to me, fire is my best friend." He takes another swig and sends out another burst, maybe kind of like over the crowd, and it kind of like everybody feels like a blast of heat in their face from it. He says, "When I was born, I burned the doctor who birthed me. So just be careful. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to, but I just must warn you that my act has been known to singe a few eyebrows." He's sort of like strutting around the stage, way more confident than he probably was earlier in the day. He takes another swig of kerosene, like starts gargling it in his mouth, spits it up, and then kind of like tosses a little like lit match up into it, and it just sort of like showers down fire. And I think his act it starts off just kind of like spitting bouts of fire and a little bit of narration, a little bit of sort of him like storytelling, and then it ends with him either like juggling, like burning torches, and always tends to end with him probably setting himself on fire in some way, whether that's his hand, him just sort of like holding up his hand and like doing a sort of almost like like casting emotions, like if he were like some sort of like sorcerer, and kind of getting a stream of fire behind his hand. And then, you know, it typically ends, I think his grand finale, so to speak, of his act is just kind of like pushing the absolute limits of like what is flammable around him, in the sense of like, you know, he will, you know, set his own clothes on fire, run around the stage doing cartwheels and flips, and then just dunk himself in a barrel of water. Yeah. And you know, I think he'll, yeah, I think he hasn't brought any volunteers up on stage, but when he sees Astoria is in the crowd, I think he's going to hold out a burning hand, and then he's going to, "Oh, one moment," and just kind of flaps it out, and he offers his hand to Astoria to come up on stage to assist him.
Yeah, I think. Do you think this is part of the act, or you just saw Astoria, right?
So you don't know this, but he doesn't often have assistants or other people in his act, probably because his things are probably too dangerous for people who can burn.
Yeah.
But he's feeling like, you know what, I want to really impress this person.
Yeah, I think Astoria's loving the act. She she's kind of had this open mouth, like, "Oh my god," sort of thing. And she's a big fan of the Carnival, and this was so much. But you offering her her spot there, just kind of like, "Oh my god," but she's gonna take your hand, I guess, and be part of this. What happens
Excellent.
next?
So he takes a ribbon and kind of dips it in a kerosene jar. And so it's this sort of like long, almost like streamer that you might see like a dancer using. And he just like takes his Zippo lighter and just lights the whole thing on fire. Like it's this like Balrog fiery whip. And he says, "All right, now I have to ask you to tie back any loose hair or clothing, make sure that we're all good to go. And I also have to ask you, have you been drinking? Because if you have been, you're liable to catch on fire."
No, I don't drink.
Oh,
But
excellent.
when you said she's trying to push her ruffles back into her coat,
he pulls her in and says to the crowd, "She hasn't been having enough fun today." And you know, maybe they chuckle or laugh, and he says, "All right." And so he basically starts, you know, moving the streamer around and kind of trailing fire all across the stage. And he says, "All right, don't move." And what he does, he sort of like leaps up and kind of like makes a spiral that kind of goes around and over Astoria. Really, definitely attempting not to burn her. He's taking a risk here. I don't know if there's any sort of move with that or narrative or otherwise.
That is a keep your cool.
I definitely think that's a keep your cool thing, which, hey, that's cold, right?
That is cold.
Excellent. So I'm going to take a roll
What
here.
are you afraid of? I think what you're afraid is going to happen is someone will catch fire that's not you.
Yes, definitely. Or, yeah. Okay. Keep it on the table, Ryan. Okay. That's a 6 and a 2, so a 9 in total.
Okay, so this may activate. I think this will activate Dragons Don't Scare Me for the crowd if you do not back down. But the consequence is that you will be out of kerosene until you deal with Cecilia.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I've probably used too much. I probably maybe I've definitely sort of like been too extravagant, like not to be blew my load too early in the day, so to speak. And
yeah, and the crowd is
yeah, they're all like shocked in maybe the worst way possible, but like they definitely almost see like it definitely looks like, oh, she's that girl's dead. She's dead. She's definitely dead. And it's like, no, okay, she's not. But like, wow, dude, that was really bad. I'm curious how Astoria, like, does Astoria trust Lear to do this, or is she like,
yeah, what is Astoria's reaction?
I think she trusts him well enough, but there's a difference between trusting him and actually being in the fire, so to speak. So mechanically, did Lear back down or
no? Lear did not back down.
nope.
Okay. So I think
you are safe, but
yeah, but there's still a lot of fire close to me. I was actually thinking that she probably. I was kind of thinking maybe she's the one who takes the initiative. I think she just this scares her more than she probably thought.
Yeah, you want to take Terrified? That's fine.
Yeah. But oh my god, she's scared. She's trying not to show it, but kind of like once the gas happened, Lear, you probably see Asoria's eyes are closed and shut really tight.
He quickly like dunks he just like tosses the streamer into like his barrel of water, and he kind of like grips her by the shoulders, and he's like, an excellent assistant, thank you so much, and he kind of escorts you off stage. He says, all right, well, that's all I've got. I'm fire really burns calories, so I've got to go grab a snack. I'm gonna take off for a moment.
There's
folks.
light laughter, some clapping, and I think like next on stage is like an acrobat, or a contortionist of some kind.
Okay.
And Lear and Astoria can go backstage or somewhere else in the carnival if you two would like.
Yeah. I think that'd be a cool scene to have like backstage or something where like he's like clearly terrified you.
Yeah, and like Lear, you're covered in ember, soot. Like your skin is unblemished normally, but like now you look like you're one of the street singers from Mary Poppins, pretty much.
Right. Yeah. Somebody hands him a towel as he gets off stage, and he starts like wiping himself down. He's like, Astoria, I'm so sorry. I didn't. Sorry. I. Are you okay?
Yeah. No, I'm fine. No. Don't Lear, don't apologize. No, that's on me. I should have. I didn't know it was gonna be like that. I'm still kind of. I'm sorry. Did I? I just hope I didn't make your act look look bad. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't call me up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I ruined your act.
Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have called you up. I'm sorry. No, those people out there, they don't know entertainment if it blew fire in their face. But you are. I mean, listen. You look bad. Do you need something? Do you need some water? Do you need? I didn't mean to. I just you. I mean, you just ran off. Or you like? What was that about?
No, it's fine. I just need to be honest. I didn't know it was gonna affect me that much. So I just need to calm down. I just need to sit down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Lear doesn't really know how to comfort people, so he's gonna sort of like be like, oh, okay, yeah.
And I think like at the time, Rhonda, the deep frying station woman, will be here. And I think she's come like she really likes Lear's shows. They're very showy, and she has like this his favorite soda and his favorite Carnival concoction. And she sees Astoria looking sort of distraught. And of what would be your favorite fried candy or snack item, Lear?
Lear's favorite like carnival snack, I think is probably, gosh, I think like the frozen bananas are Lear's favorite.
Yeah.
Because I mean, no real reason. They're just delicious.
Of course.
Yeah.
And she has this frozen banana with pistachios on it, the chocolate drizzle, and she sees Astoria, and the snack is for you, your favorite drink. She turns immediately to Astoria. Oh, honey, are you okay? Do you need anything to make yourself feel better?
No, Rhonda. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Just caught me unawares. It won't happen. It won't happen again.
I told her to stay still. Now Lear's starting to like get defensive.
I was like, Lear, you did fine. Astoria, you did spectacularly. That was my judge. That is just beautiful. And and like if Astoria's not taking the snacks, she'll turn around and give them to Lear.
Yeah, he'll grab it and just like take a he'll put like half of it in his mouth and just like bite straight through it.
And I like that. I like to imagine that you're immune to heat, but like you get brain freeze almost, or like a cold throat or a brain freeze almost immediately.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And like I told you to be careful. We have enough. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna maybe take this in my trailer. I don't know. Yeah, and I think he's trying to get out of this situation as like quickly as he possibly can.
Oh, are you running away from your problems?
Of course he is.
Roll that volatile.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah. When
Okay.
you're trying to run, Astoria's kind of look at you like, no, wait, no. It looks like she wants to talk to you.
Yeah, he does not want to have it. A 1 and a 1. Snake eyes.
Oh, so you got a 3. That's good. And
so I do fail. Well, not necessarily fail.
I'm going to, without Astoria, I'm going to treat this as a prophecy without you having to spend integrity. What do you see in Lear's future? As if you got, and this is as if it was a 10.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. What do I see in Lear's future?
Nothing good, I hope.
Oh, yeah, you win the lotto. No. I think it's a quick flash, and I just read something another Oracle person. I think hold on, I need to reread something very quickly. Okay. I think it's on stage, and no, you're getting off stage. It's just a quick flash, and your face is in pain, and the camera kind of sees there's this big ugly burn on your neck.
Ooh.
And it looks like and it's weird to see that on you, obviously, because you don't get that. But yeah, you're coming off stage and you're gritting your teeth, and I think that's it. That's that quick flash of that.
If I may add a bit to that, I think the burn marks around his neck look like they were made by hand strangling.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Fantastic.
And I think like that vision, like Astoria just coming back, like as like the camera like sort of does like the That's So Raven pan out, and like that's when like to be continued, and like the credits roll.
Oh yeah.
God.
And I'm going to stop broadcasting. We'll do debrief. Thanks, every binary who is watching, and I hope you enjoyed the start of this Carnival as much as I did. Goodbye, everyone.